Welcome back, YouTubers. Today we're doing another beer review because, wait, we do beer reviews, right? Is that what we do?
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Oh yeah, we actually do beer reviews here. My name's Matt, and this is my buddy Chucky. Again, Chuck, say hi, Chuck.
Hi, Chuck.
There you go. He's actually here because he's stuck and he can't drive home. Otherwise, I would never let him around my house because he drinks all my beer. But anyway, Chuck's here tonight because there's a snowstorm or ice storm in March, late March, early April in northeastern Pennsylvania. So we're gonna sit here and drink good beer.
Yeah.
We've done a couple reviews today already, so we're warmed up, I guess you could say. And we've decided to go a little bit danker. And dank is my term for good beer.
What is dank?
Dank means good beer.
Yes.
For people that don't drink good beer, or beer in general, one of the main ingredients in beer is hops. Hops are hops. You can't make beer, well, technically, but you can't make beer without hops. The core ingredients, and there's nothing you can do without it.
Right.
Well, what most people don't know, a lot of people might know, but what most people don't know is that hops are almost paternal twins with sativa, marijuana. On a chromosome level, there's very little difference between a hop plant and a marijuana plant. So a lot of times if you drink like a super hoppy beer, like a regular IPA, double IPA, whatever, sometimes if somebody's ever partaken in marijuana before, they'd be like, wow, this smells or tastes like actual weed.
Allegedly, of course.
Allegedly. Yeah. If you're not in Colorado or Washington, California. The point basically of what I was trying to drive home is, what was I trying to say?
Is the resemblance of sativa.
Sativa
hops.
to weed. I don't exactly know what I was trying to hammer home. There was a whole point there that I was trying to make, but at this point I've actually lost that. But
dank.
Dank. Yes, dank. The reason why I call dank beer is because there's a thing called dank weed, and what dank weed is just really good marijuana. I've smoked weed before.
Allegedly?
No, not allegedly. I actually will raise my hand.
Okay.
Full proof that I've actually ingested marijuana. I did inhale. And I've had it before, so I actually know what it smells and tastes like. I've actually eaten it before and smelled it before and inhaled it before. So, and on the on the street with those young so-and-so ruffians and whatnot, they call really good weed dank weed. And for me, I don't smoke weed anymore, years and years behind me, but I call really good beer dank beer. So yeah, so we're gonna have some dank beer tonight. This beer actually is courtesy of Chuck here. He actually found a case of this beer in Philadelphia where he lives. I've been really excited to review this beer. I've had it before. I actually haven't had this year. I've had the 2013 and I believe the 2011. I haven't had the 2014. This is Firestone Walker Sucaba. Now, Firestone Walker, all the beers that I've had from them are very, very good beers. Seems like Chucky's having a hard time containing himself right now.
Yeah, I want it in my mouth.
I know you want it in your mouth.
It's good.
I know. And all the beers are very, very good. As far as the Sucaba goes, from what I know, and I could be slightly wrong on this, the original name of the beer was called Abacus because apparently they put this out as Abacus, and then someone bitched and moaned and said that basically they couldn't put it out as Abacus anymore because they had the rights on the name, whether it was a beer, I think it was actually a wine company, you could be wrong. So they changed the name to Sucaba, which is Abacus backwards. This is a barley wine, barrel-aged barley wine.
Do we like those? Do you like those?
I've heard of barrel-aged before, I think, kind of, sort of, and then I've heard of this barley wine before.
Yeah.
No, barley wines are my favorite. I love high ABV beers. I like really malty, high density, high gravity beers, and that's your barley wine. So, I mean, this is right up my alley. I know I'm going to like it. I haven't had this year, but I know for a fact I'm going to like it. I just don't know how much I'm going to like it. And my smile is just going to get bigger and bigger as the review goes along, as this is.
Yeah.
So on the box here we have, Firestone Walker, Sucaba, Reserve Series, Barleywine, number 4. I don't know if that means anything. 2004, vintage release, blah, blah, blah. It says here, since founding our brewery in 1996, we've had specialized in the rare art of fermenting beer in oak barrels. In the fall of 2006, we embarked on a companion program to barrel age a series of vintage strong ales that would later be used as components of a blended beer.
So essentially,
this that blend ultimately became our first anniversary ale known as 10. I assume they can't put Abacus 10 on there because of whatever. After the release of 10, we shared a limited amount of the component with ales on draft, including the Sucaba. Many of the ales garnered cult followings, and then people liked it. And then Sucaba's a beer that with a storied past, and it has a bunch of interesting stuff that they want you to read. And it's a barley wine. It's big and boozy and bourbon. Big
right.
thumbs up. It says here that it is complex malt flavors are fermented oak with hints of dark chocolate, vanilla, roasted coconut, and a touch of dark cherry. That's all. Sounds fantastic. Sucaba is one of a kind sipping experience. It is a beer built to last, and one that will reward carefully with cellaring over the years. We highly recommend you continuing years with Abacus. 45 degrees.
So, to summarize some of that, it sounds like they, since 96 and whenever, they crafted the art of blending and barrel aging beer.
From what I read here, it says
and they take a little bit from everything.
Yes, but basically it says they were in the inception of their brewery in 1996. They started doing the barrel aging and maybe blending, and then in 2006 we embarked on the company's.
So as the 10-year anniversary, they started blending
beer. So in 2006 they actually started doing it. They started doing the barrel aging, and in 2006 they started the blending, and then in 10, which I assume would be 2010, which would be when it first came out, because this hasn't been on the market that long.
Right.
I assume that's when they actually started producing a beer, which started in 1996, which is 2 years after I graduated high school, which means I'm freaking old. But yeah, so we got the nice fancy little cardboard box here, nothing in the bottom, for UPC code. Over there.
Why do you think they put it in a cardboard box? Keep some more UV rays out, even though it's a darker bottle and things like that. Or
honestly,
because it's a reserve series, it's kind of fancy.
I think it's for show.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna.
Faux show or for show?
Well, faux show. Oko.
Okay, we'll find out if it's faux show in a minute.
Well, two things. One, I think they actually put it in a cardboard box for one to tell you what they want about what they're doing, because if you look at the bottle, it's very pretty.
It is.
There's not a lot of clutter. It's not telling you about what it is, which is on the back of this box. A lot of the best beers in the world are very nondescript. They're beer. Classically, your West Wiedelin is just a bottle with a cap on it. You're like blue, yellow. I know what I'm drinking. And then it goes from there. Your Rochefort, it's white label, very little information. That's kind of what this bottle is. There's a bit of, information on here. You got your IBUs, which is 42, which isn't too high, but I'm sure, it's ABV, which is...
They even give you the yeast that they use on there, which is interesting.
Yeah, British ale, which is going to be your old, British Old English ale, like your Thomas Hardy, your old J.W. Lee's, which is personally my favorite kind of beer. Color, dark ruby. The darker you get, the better. Well, not necessarily better. ABV 13.5. It's not too bad. It's all the pertinent information you want on here, and there's nothing about we're awesome. This is the best beer you're going to have. Again, there's some of that on the box, but with the bottle, it's just very nondescript, very classic, just like you want in a beer. Bit over a pint and a half, or a pint and 6 ounces. Enough to perfect amount for 2 people, I think.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, beautiful. So let's crack this sucker open and see what it has to offer. I know it's
It's gonna
good.
be
I know it's gonna be good.
I'll lose
'Cause
my mind if you don't pour it
I
in
haven't
my
had
glass.
this. Shut it. Shut it.
Shut your mouth.
I'm gonna accidentally pour some more on my side this time too.
That's alright. You're a bigger guy. Bigger guys,
No. I'll even it out this time.
No, that's alright.
Like a good gentleman.
I'm just a little guy.
Oh yeah.
That's the tough part about drinking with my buddy Matt here is, we'll split stuff, and when he's ready to go on to the sixth barley wine of the night, he's like, "You ready for another one?" And I'm like, "Well, the whole 150 pounds of me is kind of getting a little bit fucked up right now, so."
First world problems.
Yeah,
Anyway, how dare you share good beer with me? How dare you? How dare you give me all this good beer? That's what they say.
horrible.
Okay, let's see what this has to offer. I mean, you can see here, there was probably about, 3/8 inch of head. Not much. I didn't even expect this much of head out of this. He has less. Could be just how I cleaned my glass last time, or how I cleaned his glass, but not a ton of head. Actually, a decent amount of retention for the head that was there, which is kind of weird. As far as color goes, it's super dark ruby. I mean, if I hold this up to the light, I can see ruby through it, but I really have
super
to get,
dark.
I have to get a correct angle on it even to see through it. I mean, it's that murky as far as color-wise. There's everybody, beer's subjective. That's the one thing you have to understand when it comes to beer. I like what I like, and I have this, YouTube channel because I like the beer I like, and I figured I'd talk about it, and maybe the people that like the beer I like will watch these videos and find new beers that they enjoy, okay? Or maybe somebody hates the beers that I like, and they watch my videos so they know what to avoid. Who knows? This is what a beer is supposed to smell like, as far as I'm concerned. It's almost even criminal to even explain what it smells like. It's
A little boozy.
For me, actually, it's not though. That's the thing, though. It doesn't taste. It doesn't smell boozy. It doesn't smell super overpowering. It doesn't smell like anything but what I wish I was breathing. Like if I could somehow click my fingers and oxygen was replaced on planet Earth, and I had to breathe a different smell, that's kind of what it would smell like. You know what I mean? It would be a toss-up between this and an old version of Thomas Hardy. That's what the world would smell like. So this is exactly what I would smell like. I could sit here and tell you that it is this, it is that. It smells like, I smell oak, I smell this, I smell brandy, I smell like whatever. It's a super high-end beer. It's a high ABV. It's Firestone Walker. It just smells good, which is generic, but it's the truth. So I know you're waiting. I almost want to sit here and talk about it because he's not allowed to drink it until I say so.
Yeah, I'm gonna lose it.
This is how it works.
I'm gonna lose it.
So I think I might need to talk about the aromas.
Yeah, let's.
Of the
keep going with the
Firestone
spiel, the
Cheers.
vanilla and the chocolate, and
Cheers.
cheers.
brother.
Yeah.
It's boozy. It's actually boozy. Like compared to 2013, I don't know if it's that much different, but I haven't had one in like a month or so.
Yeah. It's definitely a little bit more boozy than.
It's really good. It's a really good beer. Like, put it this way: anything we say from now on is just icing on the cake. If you have a chance to get this beer at a reasonable price, buy it, drink it. It's awesome. Now you can listen to all the shit we're gonna say because it doesn't really matter because it's just a fantastic beer.
It is.
What do you think? You love this beer. This is actually Chuck's favorite beer. I'm a big fan of it. It's not my favorite. It's actually right now his number one favorite.
Yeah,
beer. You tell me what
it's
you think about it.
my newest favorite beer. I just discovered this maybe a month and a half ago or something like that. I heard about it. Somebody wanted to trade some beer for something or other, and this came up. So I went online. I did a lot of research. It had a lot of reviews, and reviews are like, you take reviews in stride.
Yeah, a lot
one
of
guy from another,
people like Applebee's.
yeah.
So.
Yeah. I sought it out, and it took me a while to finally locate one, and I paid a little bit more than usual at a bar where they served it, in-house only, just because I wanted it. I wanted to see what it was about. Is it worth all of the hype that some people give it? And the first time I had it, it was just me flying solo in Philadelphia. Cracked a big bottle at a bar, and I fell in love with it. And I mean, the taste is amazing. The aroma is amazing, but it's a beer that I never want it to end. It's a barley wine. I mean, I'm a big fan of barley wine. I'm a fan of a lot of barrel aged beers. I would love to try, but barley wine specifically. Before this, one of the big barley wines that I liked was the Goose Island, Bourbon County barley wine.
Bourbon County barley
was
wine
probably my favorite.
One of my favorites.
My favorite barley wine at the time, and it's right up there with this. It's delicious. It's made really well. They paid a lot of attention to it, whether it's some sort of a blend or however they make it. But this is a beer where right now in my life, only having it for the last month and a half, if I was to be on death row or be on death's doorstep, and they said you have one last thing to drink and enjoy, what would you choose? Right now, at this point, it would be this beer. It's even, I've had it within the last few months. I probably had 3 or 4 bottles of it. I like it that much. I would love to save it, but I can't.
Well,
it's just that
good beer is meant to be drank. So
so,
I mean, ultimately, like I love saving beer. I love cellaring beer. I love aging beer. I love old beer. But beer is meant to be drank. Beer is meant to be shared. So if you like it that much, and tastes change too. You have to understand that, like now, like if you had this beer like a year earlier or a year later, it might not be your favorite beer. You know what I mean? Like your ideas on what is good change. Your palate changes over time, whether it be food, you know what I mean, like beer, whatever. It doesn't matter. So it's almost like a small little life lesson in that when you find something you enjoy in life, whether it be minus like heroin and crack and all that stuff. When you find something you like and embrace it, enjoy it, and like really like enjoy what it brings to you, and that is what this beer does for you, and it does for me. Like I like as far as barley wines go, you hesitated to say Bourbon County barley wine. This year when they came out with the barley wine, they came out with it a couple years ago as I forget the name of it, King something. I forget what it was. When they came out with the barley wine, that's where I actually fell in love with that, and I would put that at equal standing with this. I'd have to taste them side by side in order to pick a winner.
Yeah.
But it's not a clear-cut winner. For you, this is a clear-cut winner.
Yeah.
This is like... And the only reason why this... And not to cut you off, but the only reason why this might lose to that, and I'm not saying it would, is that mouthfeel. Like, for me, the barley wine, the Bourbon County barley wine, has this density to it, this creamy density. Not that this isn't creamy, but it's a little bit thinner than that. Like, it's like, it doesn't have that thickness to it that I kind of covet in my barley wines. That's the only reason why I might lean that one. But this one might have a little bit better flavor profile.
Yeah. To me, I mean, I would love to see. I mean, hopefully, I get this discipline that comes out of somewhere, and I'm able to save one of these. And I would love to try it after a few years and see, how it tastes.
Oh, I mean, this beer would age.
I mean, it's based off of many, blends of aged beer already.
Again, same as you, I have zero discipline when it comes to aging beer. Like, I have aged beer, and there's stuff that I won't touch, you know. But I like beer, and I like to drink it, so it's hard to keep some stuff sometimes. This beer, if you waited like 5 to 10, if you waited 15 years, oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my god. It'd just be like there, and everywhere,
Yeah,
dude.
so,
It'd just be like so good. But it's a matter of...
I would have to bury it in the ground, I think.
You know what?
Maybe we should start doing that.
No, this is my trick that I do. And then I tell people to do. It works to a point, but every now and then it doesn't. Is that find a sibling that lives close to you. Like not super far, but close enough to where you can go there whatever you want. Like my sister lives probably about 20 minutes away from here. Any of the super good beer I love, any of the great beer that I love that I know I want to drink, I just put it in her basement. I cellar it in her house. That way if I'm home and I'm having a couple of beers and I'm like, oh, this is really nice. And then things get out of hand and I'm like, oh, I want to drink all this good beer. And I'm like, I can't. At that point, I know enough to where I know I can't drive. And I know enough to I can't get it. And then the whim to drink that beer passes. So if I'm going to lend any good information to anybody from any of these YouTube videos, which is, who knows what you're going to hear, but that's one of my favorite tricks, is just find somebody that lives close to you that doesn't drink, because then if you put it in somebody else's house that likes beer, you go over there and be like, sorry man, I drank all your Sucabas. Be like, I didn't know if you were going to come and drink them or whatever. Yeah. Be like, find somebody who doesn't drink, put them in their cellar, and you're good to go.
Yeah, if somebody drank my Sucaba, I'd be pretty bad. It'd be terrifying for me. Wayne Brady would have to choke a bitch.
Choke a bitch.
Yeah.
You know what? Drinking my Sucaba almost sounds like a euphemism. Like, oh, I totally went to this girl's house, I drank her Sucaba and bounced and never talked to her again.
It does.
It totally, like, yeah, I don't think she's going to call me either. Because you know when you Sucaba somebody, it's over.
Yeah.
It's totally over.
We just created something for Urban Dictionary, I think. I think we have a new definition. So that's what we're doing after this. We're going to enter some things in Urban Dictionary. But
don't Sucaba my videos. Anyway.
Don't do it. It's good shit.
It is.
I love it.
Firestone Walker, in general, I mean, they you know, people who like good beer know this is a good beer.
Yeah.
And it's easy to talk about good beer. Like, it's, you know, whether it be a Sucaba, whether it be, as far as my personal favorites, whether it be like a North Coast Old Stock, whether it be a Thomas Hardy, whether it be a J.W. Lee's Harvest Ale, they're easy to talk about because it's easy to talk about who you love. And not everybody loves the same person. But I think this is a universally lovable character.
Yeah. There you go. That's a good way.
And the only thing I could say about this is if you don't like this, you don't like beer. That's, if you don't like it, you don't like beer. You don't like beer.
I would agree with you on that.
As a whole, you know what I mean? You just don't like beer. That's it. So, not to be that, like, cut and dry when it'd be like, you know, again, I said in this video, beer is subjective, but if you don't like it, you just, I mean, if I gave this to a friend of mine who's never drank good beer before, they would probably turn it down. And that's not who I'm talking about. I'm talking about if you drink beer and you say you like beer and you say you know beer and you say you think beer is good, and you don't like this, and you don't know beer. Conversely, though, the same person, you could flip it in a bizarre world. There could be a person like me who said, if you don't like Heady Topper and you like beer and you drink beer and you don't like Heady Topper and you like beer, then you don't know beer. In that case, I don't know beer because I hate hoppy beers. You know, there's a few I like, but you know, again, that's where subjective comes in. So
this is delicious, well balanced. It has a lot to it, man. It's very complex, and it throws every bit of your taste buds gets to sample this, send a little signal to your brain that says this is slight euphoria. So
it's warming up on me now, and now there's a ton of bourbon
Yeah.
A ton of it. There you know, sugar. Oh, it's just malty, delicious candy fruit goodness.
It's good.
That's what it is.
When I'm done drinking one of these, I will not wash the glass out for a while. As in, like an hour or two. Because I want to sit there and continue to smell it.
Beers, if you like beer, I'm going to, for my palate, if you like Utopias, if you like Bourbon County Barleywine, if you like Thomas Hardy, J.W. Lee's, Old Stock, and aged Old Stock, not a new Old Stock, maybe a 4 or 5 year old stock, Weyerbacher Insanity, any of your high density, high ABVs, barreled barley wines. It's so, I hate to say that, it's so generic because I've had so many aged barley wines that suck, but those beers, if you like those beers, you like this. Now, here's where it gets kind of interesting. Value. Okay. Chuck here got a case of Firestone Walker Sucaba for, it ended up breaking down to about $15 a bottle. If you can get this for $15 a bottle,
you probably
buy it. Buy it. Buy it.
I paid for the first one I had in a bar, $30. Yes, bang for your buck at $15 a bottle. Buy it.
That's a no-brainer. That's no $30 is a whole nother story.
Yeah, but even
$22 to $23 to me is a nice, perfect point to purchase this at.
But you get a lot of people. They know the rarity of it. So if you do find it somewhere, if you're in an odd location and you do find it, don't be surprised to see it at $30 a bottle.
And that's the thing. Like, we're talking about prices where we live. We, again, northeastern Pennsylvania. It's definitely not the best beer place in the world, but like prices are subjective all over the country. I mean, if you live a block away from this brewery, who knows what you get it at? But like again, he saw it. I've seen it at 22, 23 when I went to Jersey. I saw $23 a bottle, I think.
Right.
I would buy it for that and not feel great about myself, but not feel cheated. I would be like, equal value, whatever. Yeah. $15 a bottle, I almost feel like I kind of made out a deal. You know what I mean? Like, that's a great price. You know what I mean? So, value scale, it's kind of a weird one to judge. It depends on how you can buy it, where you can get it from. I would rate this price-wise at like I said, a $22 bottle of beer at the size it is here. Again, in the future, if they make smaller bottles, bigger bottles, it's not exactly a 750. It is 1 pint 6 ounces, so it's a 650. So if they make a 750 and you get it for $25, awesome. If they make a smaller bottle, like an Aventina style bottle, then $20 is too much. So it would really matter the size it is and where you live, you know. And availability's thing, you know, like for example, most people who buy beer, you know what I mean? Like, I will, if someone walked up to my house and said, I had a 4-pack of Thomas Hardy Ale from 1990 for $100, do you want to buy it? I would probably buy it. A lot of people wouldn't buy it. But that's just me, because I have a soft spot in my heart, and it's one of my favorite beers. So,
this one, I think this one is definitely hard to judge as far as, price-wise. It's one of those ones that's, it's kind of rare. So if you do see it, it may be worth the gamble. If you have you and one of your buddies with you, if it's $30, which at a bar it will be priced about $30, or sometimes more. I've seen it, but I wouldn't go above $30. That's just kind of really crazy ripoff. But if you want to chip in with one of your buddies, go halvesies. It's worth trying it at $30 if you've never had it before. If you could get it less than that, score it, grab it.
And that's the thing.
It's delicious.
And that's the thing too. Like, it also has to do with environment. Like, if I walk into a distributor or a sixer to go, like style place in Pennsylvania, we only have either beer distributors or 6-packs to go. We don't have like a combination of the two. If I walk into a distributor and I get a case at $15 a bottle, I'm ecstatic. If I walk into a sixer to go place, I want to pay between $20 to $22. If I'm sitting in a restaurant, like a sit-down restaurant where I'm eating food and it's actually like a restaurant, I'll pay $30 a bottle and not think twice.
Right.
Because I'm sitting. It's just the environment dictates that's the price. So it's just, it depends on where you get it. But
right, absolutely.
The brass tacks is it's a fantastic beer. If you have a chance to drink it, you should definitely drink it. And it's definitely worth the money unless you're hitting north of 20 plus $30. So, yeah. So I'm super glad we had to drink this today. Had a chance to drink it today.
Yeah.
I'm gonna drink some more. And
smell it. You hit the nail on the head with the if you could pump oxygen in and it smelled like this.
like this is what you want.
I would live in this. I would enjoy it.
This is how you want beer to smell. It is. So.
It is. Amazing.
Again, I'm glad you guys can join us. If you have any comments, positive, negative, somewhere in between, please leave them in the comment section below. And hope to see you next time. Cheers.
Cheers.